Okay. Okay, I'm live. Good. So this is the Pioneers of Pagonia Alpha version. It's version 0.14 plus lots of long numbers. So this is updated from the version I played earlier on in the week. So some of the new buildings I played with, like the Stonebreakers, are different or have been removed. So we're going to play the tutorial. They recommended people try the tutorial. I'll leave the videos on. I'm going to treat this like a new player experience. So it's just kind of a small island. That's going to be a guidance map. This map is a perfect start for new arrivals in Pagonia. In your search for other Pagonians, your ship is stranded. Help to repair the ship and get off the island again while learning the basics of the game. Okay. Ooh, that new loading screen. Oh. Ooh, this is new. We have survived the storm and reached the shore. But the Venturer is badly damaged, and there's no trace of Captain Eric. Our magic compass is missing too. Without it, we can't navigate the fog. And this is Yadrik, our foreman. Interesting names. So the Venturer is our boat. Our magic compass is missing. Okay. So there's a little bit of a storyline to this tutorial. We will likely have to stay here for a while just until we get back on our feet, but the pioneers can't stay on the ship. Okay. Is it Jadrik or Yadrik? I'm going to say Yadrik. One of the advisors on the Venturer. As foreman, I keep an eye on everything our new village needs to grow. Okay. To establish a small outpost on land, we need materials first. The pioneers can collect wood from the shore. Okay. And there you can see the actual pioneer units are heading off. So they do that automatically. And we've got 25 of them, and we've got 20 carriers, so that's what we've got. So I'm going to press next. Pioneers employed at resource depots can collect additional wood from small trees, stones from boulders, and extract copper from copper chunks. So this is one of the new resources is... here they are. So we've got rocks and copper chunks. And we've also got some... a copper-bearing boulder, so they've renamed those. So when it says small trees, does it mean they can only do it from saplings? Okay, we've also got some mushrooms in the forest. Okay, now just telling me about how to move the map. So place a wood. So establish settlement. So it's not going to tell me to do anything else. But I know I'm going to have to click this. Wood and stone from the lands bar down the bottom. And it's a resource depot. Pioneers collect wood, stones and copper at nearby depots in territory. The resources are used for construction, tool production and territory expansion. Okay, so this is telling me how to position a building. That's all fine. And harvesting natural resources. Construct buildings that harvest natural resources close to suitable resource deposits, to optimize walking distance of workers. So in quite early on it's telling me about walking distance is going to be useful to bear in mind. Use the building focus point to select center. Okay, so the focus point is really just where you place it. What's that on there? Oh, that was some sticks on the ground they found. So it is not mature trees. So I'm hovering the, what's this name called? The resource depot. So it can get this bit of copper and stones, and it can also do the non-mature trees. So I'm going to place it about here. And then it wants to connect the buildings via roads. Okay, so that's Estem. He's my master builder, Estem. So I'm going to connect it to the road. So just going to build. Oops. Let's collect. Okay, so this resource depot is now collected. So one digger is coming, even though the digger is actually, it says this is a digger coming, but it's actually going to be a pioneer that comes and levels the ground and then builds. So it's going to want one piece of wood. We'll require more tools, new construction materials soon. There are stones and copper deposits nearby. That should be enough for now. We should build a few more resource depots right there so our pioneers can collect materials and bring them there. Okay, so we could potentially build another resource depot by this side of the rocks. Okay, Estem, the master builder, also says our people also need a roof over their heads. Once we build them huts, they can move from the venture and begin their task. We'll press OK. So it wants us to build at least 2 huts. So under population and meals, I'm going to build 2 huts. It's going to cost 2 wood. And you don't have to worry about the ground you place it on, but I'm placing him near where this resource depot is going to be so that they can just walk to and from there. We also need food. Foragers can harvest berries and mushrooms in nature. We're best if we built a forager's hut. Okay, so that's unlocked the food products and the forager's hut, which is also going to cost 2 wood. So I can see from this is gone which bigger area it covers. And I'm going to put it near the berries and the mushrooms. And then I'm also going to connect it to the road network. So how is our first resource depot getting on? So we've got the one pioneer who is bringing in a bit of wood. So currently they've harvested 29 wood in total. That's pretty good. And they're just going to construct this. And my pioneers, my other, out of the other, how many do we have? Oh wait, no longer, oh, it's carriers, there's the construction, here it is. Pioneers. So we're at 22 in total, it says, because 3 are now working on the resource depot, and you can see the car getting wood. Okay. So they're going to get wood, and they're going to gather wood by cutting small trees, and they can also get stones and copper. So Atra is another character. She's my commander for my faction. To claim more land, we need guards. To train them, we need spears. So Jadric says we can craft basic weapons and tools in a workshop. Okay. We have obtained copper. We can access new tools and buildings. Okay. And that also had the little icon for the settlement progression. What was that? That stinger noise, that menacing noise that also usually happens when bandits or something are nearby. I hope they're not. Right, so under equipment and training we can build a workshop, and I like to put these at the front. I am Atra as Commander. I'm responsible for anything regarding military and territory deployment. Okay. I think I can just close that down. We can construct the village hall to serve as a training spot. This is where carriers will go to be trained for other tasks. We must pay attention and make sure there are always enough carriers left to transport our goods. I think there's a minimum of 10 carriers you can have. Okay. Very well, we now have, so this is Yadric. Very well, now we have a rudimentary settlement. Our carriers have moved into their huts. There they prepare their own meals. As long as there is space in their home, the ingredients for their meals, they will provide offspring. So ingredients for their meals. Are they just wanting anything from the foragers? How does that work? So I'm going to build the village hall next to the tool. Next to the workshop, which builds the tools. And we should build a guard post near our territory border. From there, our guards can capture new territory as long as they're supplied with stones from resource depots. They can also patrol. I've ordered the guards to keep an eye out for our captain and the magic compass. Oh yes, I forgot about the captain. So, more time will pass until we can find out what the fog harbours. First, First, we must get the Venture seaworthy again. After the storm, I also discovered this strange rock on the ship, or is it hardened resin? Either way, the fog draws back when I go ashore with it. I must study this closely. So this is an explorer called Kieran. And Atra says, could this help us lift the fog on the island? Possibly, but I'm stuttering today for some reason. Possibly, but we must be careful. The rock's effect seems to unfold when it's warmed, but it could be magical, and magic becomes explosive under too much pressure. Then let's give the guards small pieces of this rock. They will be careful with it. If they use the pieces while placing new stones, we can test your assumption and show that our territory is free of fog. All at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna. So, Kieran, as I just said, I'm Kieran. As explorer, I usually help read the magic compass and charting new islands. Currently, however, I will focus on studying this strange rock. Okay, so the objectives have updated. We now want to build another 3 huts. I'm going to build them actually on this side. So I've been building on the west. I'm going to start building on the east now. I'm going to construct them with roads to them. Okay, and then it wants to build a guard post. I'm going to build the guard post, which is from the Exploration Expansion tab. It's going to cost 3 wood. We're down to 24 wood now, so it's fine. Let's look what the no, every time I want to look at something, I'm going to have another pop-up. So Estem, the master builder, says, I've had a closer look at the Venture, and I think we can repair it. However, we will need many materials. Softwood trunks, cloth, ropes. I will work out the exact numbers. Okay, we should take care of softwood trunks. We cannot only use them to repair the Venture, but also to construct better buildings. If we construct a wood-cutting hut near the forest, our woodcutters can fell the trees. To do so, they need axes. The storm destroyed almost all the ropes, so this is Estem, the master builder. The storm destroyed almost all the ropes aboard the Venture. If we craft enough ropes, we can replace them. We also need flax to mend our sails. So it wants to build. So it wants me to have 5 guards. Build a woodcutting hut as well. So the woodcutting is under wood and stone, and it wants it next to the softwood area. Let's place it right there. So now we've got a carrier bottleneck, because all our carriers are doing something. They're all collecting things from the... oh, they're collecting all the stone. The village hall took 8 to build, so we're losing some carriers. Not carriers. We're down to 19 pioneers. All the other ones have... So we've got 3 working in the resource depot, 3 pioneers in the workshop. Oh, so the huts have room for 8 people now. There used to be 5, but now there are 8 people. Village hall's almost built. Same with the huts. And in the forager, we've also got just some foragers. So we've used 3 carriers for that. So the carriers managed to turn into foragers without going to the village hall, because the village hall isn't built yet. That's good to know. And we'll produce some goods. We need more carriers, but we'll get those through building the huts. Okay, it's telling me about military recruitment. So it's telling me, first they've got a carrier shortage. We're down to 1 free carrier. Where are they building? Oh, and the Venture now has a repair unit. So it wants 50 softwood trunks, 20 cloth, and 10 ropes. So we're going to have to find some flax for both of the ropes and the cloth. Okay, it's not telling me how to make the guards. And if it will pop up with that. Maybe when the guard post is built. I know how to build the guards. I will create 5 spears, which requires 1 stones and 1 wood. So the stones are from the resource depot, and so is... No, they're not gathering wood. Huh. So it looks like we're almost out of wood. We've got 5 left. Okay, so I can't build any more of anything really. Okay, but now we've got the... Okay, Yadrik says, with our copper, stones and wood we can craft tools at the workshop. So let's get to work. Afterwards we can train woodcutters and other craftspeople. So it wants me to build some axes, which requires wood and copper. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to build 3 before I build the guards, because we barely have any wood. If I built the guards now, I wouldn't be able to build the woodcutter, and I won't be able to cut wood to generate more wood. So the woodcutter can build softwood trunks from softwood trees, hardwood trunks from hardwood trees, and also some just wood. Hey, and we found flax. Oh yeah, that's really high up in the mountains. Oh, it did. Oh, we've also got boar there. That's not good. Oh, when you actually select it, it says it scares civilians now. Scared civilians, but if defeated by a hunter, the boar provides leather and its meat makes for a very nutritious ingredient. So it can say we can craft cloth and ropes from the flax in the weaving shed. Yep, it's telling me about the missing guards, but I really can't build them until the axes are built, can I? In fact, this boar down here is starting to scare off the carriers. Okay, our residences are full, but we do have a very slight newborns per minute, so our birth rate is there. Okay, so if I didn't look ahead and see that these axes needed to be built, I would have run out. If I'd built the guards before, which it was telling me to do, I would have run out of the wood and I'd be stuck for a little bit. Yeah, so that's some feedback. We've also got the carrier bottleneck. Okay, so the resource depot doesn't seem to have gathered any wood yet at all, even though it can. Gather wood over there. Let's see what the other pioneers are doing. There's 3 left on the boat, but they're not actually doing anything right now. Oh, we've also got a rabbit in the forest, okay. And the forager's hut no longer goes and collects rabbits. So we've got our first woodcutter. Which means I can start training. So I'm completely out of wood now. So if I had built these spears, which needs 1 wood and 1 stone, I would have... You know, for the 5, I need to make 5 guards, and if I'd done that, I would have been soft locked for a little bit. Interesting. So all our huts have been built. So maybe if I'd not built all the huts, even though the objectives were telling me to do that, and if I'd gone down the objectives in order, then I'd have had issues. So how many of that? So we've got 3 pioneers left over. I don't really want to make any more. So I'll just eventually move that. Forager's still going on. So the forager no longer collects branches or wood. They used to. It used to be called firewood and they used to collect it. It no longer is. So the tools are being made. So we're not going to... Oh no, we do have quite a few pioneers living out on the... I can build... So there's another resource depot on the east side now, when it gets built, for all this stone here. As soon as the guard post gets up and running, we'll need it. So we want to get to that flax, but we're also going to need the weaver hut. And it also wants... So it wants a weaving hut, not a weaving hut, a forager's hut within range of the flax. Currently there is. Okay, so the wood cutting hut, which is employed now, it's now employed woodcutters. So the axes got built. The axes were 2 copper and 1 wood. So the copper came from the resource depot, and so the wood came from the venture. So even though the resource depots can generate wood, I've only just seen them go for it now. So it seems they've got a low priority. They seem to be picking up the wood that the woodcutter left behind. So the woodcutter gets the trunks, and the resource depots have picked up the wood. So there's a difference between wood and wood trunks. Yep, they've left some wood behind there as well, as they fell the trees. And we've now created our first spears, and we've also created our first guards, and they're heading to the guard post, which is the most basic military guard post, and it can store 16 stones, and now the guards are going to go and claim all the territory in not a huge radius, but they'll open up the flax, and they'll also open up the new stone and copper on the east side of this little area. So it's wanting us to gather. So we've got the 5 guards now as the objective. We want to gather 6 softwood trunks, and we are doing that, but we're also repairing the venture as we do it. Okay. Carriers are very busy. We've still got a little bit of growth. We're down to 21 carriers now. So I know that I'm going to need additional huts for room for population. We've not got there yet. Okay, the raspberries are being used for something. Who is using raspberries? I'm going to follow this guy. Because he's holding a raspberry. So is he just going to take it home and just eat the raspberry? Because that's new behaviour. They didn't used to do that. It used to be provisions or things. So we'll see what this... Have you also got raspberries? Okay. So that's his house. They must be taking it to their house to eat. So you do need some basic food. Okay. I wonder what they can consume. And the huts also want wood. Yeah, so if I'd not built this woodcutting hut, or the axes on time, the huts would have used all the wood. That is quite a bottleneck they've got. Yep, so they're taking the food to their hut, and then we'll see. Yep, we're starting to get newborns from it, so they are consuming food. Okay. It's good to know. So we've got some free space for the carriers, but all our carriers tend to be busy transporting stuff. And some have obviously became their professions. So I know for myself that I need to build houses. So down the left hand side it's saying no space left in residential buildings. Really they need a pop-up that's going to tell me that, because I know the only way to fix that is to build houses. And then that should hopefully allow us to get to the 30. That's going to be more than enough to get to the objective of that many carriers. So all builders are busy. You can build. So I said I can build more builders, but nothing's really told me that yet. So the guards are making their way up. The problem is the boars are in the way. That's going to be annoying. I wonder what other buildings have unlocked. None other than the weaving shed. So I could build the weaving shed now. It costs 4 wood, and that could start producing flax. I'm sorry, that would start producing cloth and ropes. But we don't have access to the flax yet, so there's not a huge amount of point in doing that. So I want to see. So it is telling me to build a weaving shed already. We can do that. So that's one of the objectives. Really, I want it this side. So it's no, actually, I'll do it here next to the forager. So the forager can go get the flax. Problem is the boars. The boars may cause issue because they do scare away civilians. Okay, we've completed the objective to get some carriers. Oh, and now it's telling me that I needed those huts. So we actually do need another couple more huts. Build one there, and one there. So then we're going to have 10 huts in total. So that's going to be room for 80 Pagonians. So lots of room. So really, I'd be wanting myself to be building fishing huts. Okay, I had a very strange pop-up, not pop-up, but the tooltip said something about newborns. Okay, I highlighted the hut, then I went on to a different thing, and it seemed to have the hut's tooltip. So it can make it can be working on 2 newborns at a time, each hut. Okay, now it says about the boars. The boars in the area are causing quite a bit of trouble. They block the flax fields and scare civilians. Sounds like a task for our guards. They can fight boars. Oh, that's new. That is from Atra, the commander. So how do our guards fight boars? Oh, there is now an attack dangerous animals. So we can do that. Do I just click it? Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, it killed one of the boars killed one of my guards. Guards can lose against boars, hunters can't. Let's start building hunting lodge. Okay. I'm going to untick the guards to attack boars, and I'm going to build the hunting lodge. Which will make a lot more sense because it goes and hunt those rabbits. So that's going to take 2 wood, and hunting bows for the hunters can be produced at the wood workshop. Okay, let's go to the wood workshop. So we need to build a wood workshop. Okay. Which is in the equipment and training. So we can build this building just right here, and it's going to need 1 wood and 1 rope. So to build these bows, we're also going to need the weaving shed to build. Oh, we can't set that while it's under construction. So we're going to have a bit of a backlog right now. We've got we're waiting for this weaving shed to be built, and then we can set we can just set the construction sites are springing up everywhere. If we want to be faster at construction new builds, we need more help. Let's train some more pioneers. Before I do that, let me just change the weaving shed to produce on demand for both wood. For both rope and cloth. So as that flax comes in, it will start building those. I also want to build another guard post. We can do that. Let's build some more pioneers. How many more pioneers does it want us to build? Another 5, so we can build another 5 pioneers. Which means we need 5 stone picks, so we go back into the into the workshop and build 5 stone picks. And that's going to use just stones and wood. And there's nothing telling me other than this red flag here above the weaving shed that I need some tools. So it's the weaving shed is saying that there's no staff present, and there's nothing that tells me to go look at the weaver. Sorry, the village hall, and in the village hall I can say that it needs a tool, but there's nothing that says this is what's stopping it. It just says they're ordered by the building. But if I click on the wood, I keep saying wood, if I click on the workshop, then I can see that we're missing knives, which is 2 copper, 1 wood, so I can do 3 of those. So there's nothing that really told me how to get my weaving shed problem fixed. Other than that, I knew that there's no staff present, so I knew to look in the village hall, and then from the village hall I knew I could see what tools I needed, so then I looked in the workshop. And that's from just my experience rather than the tutorial helping you there. And same for the hunting lodge. So if I look in the village hall, we're missing 5 bows, and that's because the wood workshop hasn't been built. That takes 6 wood, and the pioneers are slowly working on it. And they're still working on building up the additional pioneers from the village hall. So they've got 3 more stone axes. So I keep mispronouncing everything. They need 3 more stone picks, which then can be used to train a pioneer at the village hall, and that's part of the objectives. And we're back to no space left in the huts. But the adventure's now had quite a few softwood attached to it. No ropes yet, because we don't have any weavers, because they've not been produced yet. So the knives are getting produced, 3 knives for the 3 weavers. So the workshop builds the knives, gets transported to the village hall, and they get turned into weavers and then go to the weaving shed. And there's a little bit of flax there for them. Not a huge amount, because there's still boars. I may just turn on the... tell the guards to battle, and while I'm at it, because 2 of my guards died, I'm going to build another 2 spears and then tell the guards to get built. Oh no, 3 must have died. Okay, we lost some more guards. So we're going to have 5 guards still. And then we're going to build another 5 spears ready for the second guard post, which is going to be on the west side. So I built the first one on this side because I could see there was flax up here and that there was also copper and stone. But this one is going to be going into territory where there's some mushroom and there's some hardwood, but not a huge amount of resources. There's some boulders which give stones or stone blocks, and there's also some rocks, which is what the resource depots gather from. So the wood workshop now needs 3 hammers. So if we go into the... So wood workshop needs 3 woodworkers, and the woodworkers need a hammer each. So that's 1, 2, 3 hammers. So we're getting quite a queue in the workshop. It's requiring quite a bit of copper. So the hammers require 2 copper, 1 wood. Whereas the stone picks just requires 1 stone, 1 wood. And the spear 1 stone, 1 wood per tool. Okay, so our second weaver is almost there. We're still waiting. Okay, so the knife is almost created. So the final weaver is just starting to get trained. Oh no, that was a pioneer that got trained. So, oh, someone's carrying the knife, and then someone can get trained into a weaver. So we've recruited the 5 additional pioneers. And there we go, we've got our 3rd weaver. So the flax is also being delivered to them, and they'll start producing. So we need 20 cloth for the adventurer, 10 rope for the adventurer, and 3 rope for the bows. Our guards are still fighting and getting killed by the boars. But at least it's allowing the foragers to get there. I'm going to turn off attack dangerous animals on the guard post again. And how many guards do I have? Oh, we've only got 2 guards. Wow, that's not good. So we're having another 8 guards in total, so we can have 5 in that guard post and 5 in this guard post. I don't know why it says recruit. I thought we'd recruited that many pioneers, but obviously we hadn't. I know. The final pioneers almost recruited. I could potentially set the hunting lodge to high priority because it'll make the hunters be trained higher priority, and it'll make the ropes also be done at higher priority. So that's just my knowledge from previous playthroughs. Nothing in the tutorial told me that. Looks like a really small island run right now. So we can't really go any further to the east. And actually, we're stuck by a cliff just on the northeast. So we have to go in a northwest direction because also to the west of this big mountain. So there's not a lot of room to get around. As long as we have access to all the flax. So some of the flax is growing back. Flax seedlings sometimes spawn when you harvest flax. But not all the time. It can run out eventually. Okay, so we've got 1 woodworker and another 2 are coming. Getting a hammer delivered. So 1 woodworker's walking and the other one's waiting for a hammer to be delivered. Okay, here's our final woodworker. Now we've got the woodworker, we can start producing the hunting bows. And we need the hunting bows for the hunters. So each of the 3 hunters is going to need 1 hunting bow. And that is still 1 wood, 1 rope per hunting bow. So our weaver needs to be building rope for us. They built some rope because it's gone to the venture. So the venture now needs 9. It needed 10 rope originally. Still no sign of our captain or the magic compass. 41% on the venture, quite a lot of it. We've done 32 out of 50 softwoods. So we're just waiting for all these ropes to get built. Yeah, losing some of the guards to the boars didn't help, but now we're having the flax. So 1 rope's been built. No bows have been built yet. So we'll see where this rope actually goes to. Is it going to go to the venture, or is it going to go to the wood workshop? Nope, no, they built cloth as well. So 1 rope is going to get picked up. The cloth's getting picked up and it's going to the venture. Got 1 rope in stock, no more flax. No, they're slowly getting the flax from me. It's not super fast. I'm playing the game on speed 1. Could go to speed 5. So the pioneers are the ones that are taking the wood to the venturer. Okay, we've produced 5 cloth. We've only produced 3, which was an objective, as well as take a total of 20 to the venturer. So we've still got quite a ways to go. Could build yet another forager's hut. A bit closer towards the... so this one is closer towards the flax, but it's still around boars, so hopefully these hunting lodges will come and take the boars out. The boars do keep respawning. As long as there are trees in the area, the boar will keep respawning. If I wipe out all these trees, the boars will go away once I've hunted them. But then if I replant a forest, the boars can spring back to life. So I just heard a boar noise, which means they just chased one of my... Yep, you can hear them chasing off my people. But at least the pioneers are coming to dig this second forager's hut. So down on this resource depot, we've actually ran out of stone at this side. Or should I say rocks. Still gathering it from this side. East side. Yeah, but the initial one I put down has only got copper. I could move it. And we're back up to 10 guards, so we got 5 in each. That's good. So the boars are also chasing after the pioneers. Probably also going to chase off both my carriers and my foragers. So I may turn off the attack dangerous animals, sorry, turn it back on the guard post. Though that just seems to kill all my guards. But I do need to get to the flax. How are we doing for ropes? Still got another 9 ropes to build. I'm going to turn the wood workshop onto high priority just because the rope is still getting taken to the venturer. So now the weaving shed should produce the rope, and it should go to the hunting bows so that the hunters can take out the boars. So there's nothing in the tutorial that's told me how to use the priority, but I know I'll be there for a long time. So we're up to 40 out of 50 softwood. We've still got quite a bit left. Okay, the forager's hut is now ready, and our foragers are appearing. So foragers are no longer need any tools. I think they used to use spades. But they should hopefully go and gather some more flax for me, because this is currently my bottleneck. It was the flax. So it's a good job I built my second resource depot, because we are down to not a huge amount of stone. So what I could potentially do is tell this guard post to concentrate on heading towards all of these stone over here and just move, and when I move I mean delete and rebuild the resource depot. So to do that I can use set claim focus point, which is tells the guards to focus claim territory in this direction, but they're getting there quite quick, so I don't need to do that. And this guard has run out of places to expand altogether, so I can just I'll turn the hunt wild animals, was it attack dangerous animals on for these guards, just to take out a few more of the boars. Yeah, it's time me to build more guards. But I'd rather keep the boars at bay. For now. Okay, we do have this resource depot still getting a few stone from here over here, so we don't have to move it just yet. And we finally produced 5 ropes in total, and one of them's finally coming for the hunting bow. Eventually we may get a hunting bow out of this. I'm going to replace the one guard that died. So we've got 10, and I've also turned off the attack wild animals. So I could toggle this forager's hut to not pick raspberries or mushrooms and then concentrate only on the flax. The first bow is currently in production. It took a long time for it to start. Simply because most of the flax was heading towards the Venturer. Okay, so it's picking up one of the hunting bows, and then they're going to head to the village hall, and they're going to become a hunter. The first one out of 3. It's taking a long time. I mean, one of the issues is it takes 2 flax to produce 1 rope. What I'm going to do is pause the production of cloth. So the weaving shed was producing both cloth and rope. Because I want the hunters out, I'm going to pause the cloth production simply so that they start working more on the rope. So that the hunting bows get put out. Okay, so here's another 2 flax arriving, and they could start building a rope now. Okay, there's some little rope making happening. So the weaving shed's efficiency has gone up to 78%, which is good. They've pretty much constantly been in use. There was a slight delay where they didn't have any flax to work on. Okay, that's another rope produced. Yep, so we're still delayed getting all the flax because the other foragers working on picking up mushrooms and raspberries. So I probably should have turned that ability off and just made it concentrate on the flax only. Okay. So here's the next bit of here's the next rope getting produced. And now the rope's produced, I'm going to turn back on cloth production. I'm interested in exactly what food you can eat in the huts, because I'm fairly sure I saw them eating raspberries. I wonder if they could eat boar meat as well. Maybe they eat mushrooms. They eat something. Okay, another bow's on its way to the village hall, while the wood workshop is receiving some more rope, and then they can finally produce their missing bow. It'll take a long time for this bow to get produced, and that's with me increasing the priority of the wood workshop and also toggling the cloth and ropes production around. There's quite a lull while we've been waiting for these ropes, and the exploration hasn't been going quick enough, so we haven't found Captain Eric or Iric or even the magic compass. We found other resources as the guards have extended our borders. But I may build. I'm going to remove this guard post here and build one over here. So primitively moving the guard post, and that can keep expanding the territory. So the guards that win the guard post will try and find some accommodation, since I just demolished where they live, which was the guard post. So I currently have a negative balance of homes, so some people are homeless and some people are living. Oh, I found the magic compass. Kieran, the explorer. Finally, we have recovered our magic compass. Now we are once again able to navigate at sea with or without the fog. I'm also researching whether the strange piece of resin can help us lift the fog. Okay. Where was the compass? Oh, here under a piece of wreckage. Oh, and there's is there rope as well? If we claim that, will that get us rope? I hope so. So maybe if we'd concentrated on expanding our guard post, if this really is rope, then that might be some free rope for us. Speaking of rope, the wood workshop has finished production of the bows. The hunters have been trained in the village hall, and the hunters have made their way to the hunting lodge, and they are actually hunting boars and also rabbit. And they're getting some leather from the boars, but I've got nothing that can use the leather right now. So these pioneers are just levelling off the ground. They're making it so that it's nice and level for the guard post to be built. And then some will bring in some wood, and they will build the guard post. And then the 5 guards have to move over. And then also they have to have stones carried over with carriers, and then they can start expanding the territory again. Almost finished repairing the Venture. We are now on 8 out of 10 rope and 17 out of 20 cloth. So the cloth is 1 flax. It used to be, fairly sure it used to be more than 1 flax per cloth and 2 flax per rope. I'm fairly sure that's been rebalanced. Maybe it's just for the tutorial. Okay, so the 3 wood has been carried by the pioneers, and then they're going to start building. So even though we've got lots of free pioneers, there is a certain limit of how many can work on a building at once, and that seems to be 3 for these small buildings. Oh no, 2. Only 2 of them are actually doing the building. The other one just dropped the material and left. So really you want a source of wood that's near where they walk to and from, so they can pick it up easier. So if all the wood was stored on the opposite side of my village, they'd have to go and pick it up from there. Okay, so the guard post has been built. The guards are now on their way, and the carriers should hopefully pick us up some stone from the resource depots. So here come the guards. They move a bit quicker. They've got combat strength 2, cannot leave my own territory. They've got 100% combat power against creepers, which is one of the scavs. They can attack hostile enemies, so if an enemy comes attacking us, they will fight back. They expand territory, but they do panic when encountering spectres. So they would lose all their they'd lose their weapon and become carriers. And the size of their claimed area is standard, so they can have you can have better versions of guards. You can have like elite guards, but that would require different construction buildings and training buildings. Okay, so they've picked up their first thing, so 96% repaired on the Venturer. Still haven't found the captain. In fact, all the cloth and rope has been produced that's needed for the Venturer, and it's just going to be transported over now by the carriers. Is it the carriers who bring it over? No, it's actually the pioneers, because it does require building. So it's considered a construction site, this boat. And you can see how it's visually changed. I didn't comment on it, but the masts have been repaired, and I'm fairly sure we're going to have some sails at some point. So all the ropes there, just waiting on the final piece of cloth. Still not sure where the captain could be. It's a small island, so he can't be too far away. I want to know what happens when we expand our territory to the piece of wreckage where the compass is. Is it going to give us anything special? Or is it just going to be, at least we know where it is, that was the all objective, we'll find out. So all the things being taken to the Venture, now they're just doing the final building on it. See if it does visually change. Oh, yep, there we've got some sails. Okay, the Venturer. Oh, we did. The Venturer is repaired. Is a repaired. Okay, the Venturer is repaired. Seaworthy once more. So that is a typo. It should be the Venturer is repaired and seaworthy once more. Soon we can continue our journey. So they have a little bit of a mistake in the text. And then Kieran says, not so fast. Repairing the ship and finding our magic compass so we don't get lost in the fog is not enough. Our captain is still missing. We can't just give up on him. We can't. That's what I've always been saying. So we've still got... Okay, now we want to recover the magic compass. And I'm fairly sure to recover it we do need to actually get to the wreckage. And now if we click on the adventurer, it could have the captain's hat and a magical compass artifact. So these are all placeholder names, these tooltips. So it's hat name plural and magic compass name plural. So yeah, so we can have something in stock. So it's treated as a small piece of storage. Okay. I've now made it as far as the wreckage, and yep, and someone's gonna come and collect. Oh, and we do have 6 rope now. So if we'd got to this piece of wreckage using the guard post first, we wouldn't have had to build all the rope. That would have saved us collecting 12 flax. So that would have worked out much quicker if we'd done that. It also looks like there's some timber there and things. Just some logs, I think. We've got plenty of wood now. We've got 111 woods. And all the carriers are coming to carry off the rope, and they're probably going to take it to the wood workshop. Yep. So that's a shame that I didn't explore to the west quick enough. If I'd built 2 guard posts, I could have made it here in time to use the rope that was on the ground. Still no sign of the captain's hat. I'm going to move one of the guard posts ahead of time. Kind of leapfrogging each other. So get that built, and then once it's built we will demolish the other one and people can start going from there. Keep an eye on the resources. So the resource depot over here can no longer get any stone, and neither can the resource depot over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demolish this one. The other thing it can pick up is copper, and I'm going to build a resource depot next to this bit of wood. Not wood. I'm going to build it just here so it's got stone and copper if needed. And what I'm going to actually do is go into the population of meals and build 1 hut over here, so that the carriers can potentially live in this house and not have to walk as far, because we are starting to head out into town. Kieran says, I could hardly wait for the magic compass we brought here. Now I don't feel as lost in the fog. So that means that the compass has been brought back to the Venturer and placed in the Venturer's storage. So we may now actually be running out of stone, because it's not an efficient way to walk for the for this resource depot. It's got it says that 88% effective, but they do have a long way to walk to pick up that stone. And then from there, it's a fairly, not a huge amount, considering how big some of the maps can get. This is a small map, but compared to the size of the actual map, it's quite a way for them to walk. And we've got just 2 pioneers to do the resource depot digging, and we've got, so the train's been prepared for the hut as well at the same time. So different pioneers are working on the 2 different builds simultaneously. So I'm going to guess that the captain is going to be somewhere over here to the north of the island. So there was a lake in the way, so I've had to walk around a lake and then kind of a chokehold in the mountains, which I'm now getting through. But I have had to leapfrog my guard posts, keep tearing them down and pushing them further on, so that we can find the captain. Okay, the resource depot has had its train prepared, so now it's just going to be one pioneer needs to bring 1 piece of wood to build the resource depot, and then some more pioneers can move in and we can start taking down this stone. As opposed to walking all the way over here. And there's only 14 left over here. We've got 4 in this pile and 10 stone in this pile. Whereas this new pile is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We've got an extra 60 stone over here. That should help us get all the way to the end of the island. Using the stone in the guard posts to extend our territory. So the guards pick up the stones and just pop them down as little border stones, and it slowly extends our territory. And the higher level guards can do this more efficient, so when they put one down, a bigger piece of territory will be claimed, but that's not part of this tutorial. I'm just watching the guards. It's quite a nice relaxing game, this, especially when there's no enemies for me to fight right now other than the balls. And now that we're no longer producing cloth or flax, no longer producing cloth or ropes, we don't need any more flax, so no one has to go near the boars. Okay, we can delete this guard post and they'll all move to the new one, which is further up the island. Oh, there is you can kind of see shapes of mountains and things through the fog, and I can see there's a mountain just to the north. The island's got mountains on the north, west and east side, and we've landed on the south. And you can't make a circle road around this centre lake, which is in the middle of the island because of the cliffs. Here the hunter's working on the boars. So we can probably build yet another No, I can't. I was going to build a guard post over there, but there's no way to do it. Oh, we have found wreckage. Guards, the captain have found Captain Eric's hat washed ashore. This may seem like a bad sign at first, but I won't give up hope. I'm sure that our captain survived the storm. And Kieran says, before the magic compass went overboard, I saw the Needle jump in different directions. This could mean that there is another island nearby. Maybe that's where Captain Eric is stranded. So we need to reach his hat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell it to head out this area quick. I'm going to pick up the hat, I hope. Oh, and there's also cloth here. So we could, if we just concentrated on the guard posts, we wouldn't have had to produce all that cloth and all that rope. We'd have to have produced some of it, but would have been fine. You know, the boars wouldn't have had to be so concerned about them because we wouldn't have to have snuck past them so many times. Okay, so this guard post can no longer find anywhere to build, but I can't quite get a road through the trees. Oh, I can. Okay, I managed to get that road through the trees. So let's demolish that building, that guard post. And I'm actually going to make the road a bit straighter. We've cleared some trees and rock obstacles out, so we can now straighten the road a little bit better. It makes it slightly shorter for the Pagonians to walk. And our guards are beelining straight for this wreckage, which I've told them to. And we've claimed it, so then a civilian needs to go and pick up the hat and bring it back. So we need to recover the hat. Don't know who's going to do it. There is one carrier here. They're on their way. Are they going to pick up the cloth, or are they going to pick up the hat? So I focused the camera on them using this follow unit button, and I've zoomed in, and I'm just going to hopefully watch them walk all the way to pick up the hat, and they're not going to pick up any cloth. They can only carry one thing at a time. And the hat should hopefully be considered like a valuable artifact. What is it going to pick up? Hey, you picked up the hat. So we've recovered the hat, but we do need to take it all the way back to the boat. So I am actually going to speed 5. And watch this Pagonian take this hat back to Venture, and that should be the end of the tutorial, I think, or is there multiple missions tutorial? I don't know. So this is the thing that was updated today in part of the build. This tutorial did some things quite well. There was some bits where I just wasn't told exactly what to do and I had to use my prior knowledge, and especially the bit with the that there actually being rope and cloth already produced on the island. If I just found that, before, I wouldn't have had to waste so much time working on producing them myself through the flax. Okay, so Atra says, my people have brought Captain Eric's hat back home, back to the Venture. I'm looking forward to the moment he will take it back. Okay, I won. Woo! The Venture is seaworthy again. The magic compass is back in Kieran's hands and we know where to continue looking for Captain Eric. It's time to leave this island. Some people have decided to stay on our new settlement. Regarding our crew, Yadric found the perfect words. Hoist the sails, pioneers, we have a new goal. So, I guess people are going to stay behind, so we're not going to have a lot of people when we land on a new island. So, we've also got another tooltip, which doesn't have any thing onto it. So, narrational dialogue speaker diary title. That's obviously placeholder. Okay, complete all the main objectives and got some fireworks. So I guess we'd go to the campaign if this was, live. Because they're gonna have a campaign ready for 1.0. But would there be a continue button here, or would we just have to exit the main menu? Because we have the pop-up saying we oh, predefined maps. There are no predefined maps anymore. That's interesting. So all the predefined maps have gone. So all the ones I've previously done videos on are no longer there. But we've still got the sandbox ones. Objective without enemies, which is what I did the other day. I just did... Okay. So you also have some different starting units and supplies. I did a new beginning, which is 50 Pagonians. I don't know what the iron... And there's also the copper stage, stone block stage, and iron stage. And that's how you progress through the economy, but I don't know if you start with also resources, because that's kind of needed. Any other changes to anything else? Objectives with enemies? No, it's still... so the size 3 is 900 by 900, size 4 1000 by 1000, size 5 1150 times 1150. I wish that was slightly bigger. And because I customize the setup, so it's still going to be the same thing. You can have extreme, many harder, and NPCs, and you can choose between Malthorn, werewolves, spectres, scavs, and thieves. I could choose just scavs, and I could have 0 Pagonian villagers, and then I could set other things. So all these are the same. Okay, that was the tutorial. I'm going to go for my dinner now. I think it could still do with some improvement. There was still some areas where I was kind of waiting for something to tell me what to do. I don't know if that's because I was holding myself back because I'm experienced and I didn't want to jump ahead of something. Would a new player have not paused as much as I did to wait for something? Would they say, okay, I've got the idea now? And it's hard to say, but anyway, that's it. I'm going to end the stream now.